Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Tyrone back with Tech Life. So AT&T also updated shareholders and investors at the city's conference in Arizona. So I wanted to also share some of my thoughts and some of the commentary from Pascal at the conference. So much better commentary I'm hearing from AT&T versus what I heard from Verizon, right? Verizon, very confusing commentary, very bad outlook for 2023 after listening to Hans Vestberg speak at the city's conference. So AT&T, much brighter 2023, right? Focused on, of course, wireless and fiber. I still feel fiber is of course more of the focus, and that's okay, right? That's perfectly fine. Whatever's going to get the market on board with further justifying revenue and profits. That's all that matters at this point in time to AT&T after the media debacle that they had. So some of the commentary that Pascal gave during the conference, they want to be very disciplined on how they invest and very disciplined on how they do promotional offerings. They just want to be very disciplined, right? So he mentioned that during Black Friday, Cyber Monday, they didn't have necessarily the most aggressive promotional offering, but they still had a very great balance on growth, on wireless and fiber, even during the less promotional period. But then shortly after that, they stepped it up again and they moved the iPhone from $800 off to $1,000 off. And they did that very quickly in anticipation of the holiday season. So very important. So here are some of the points made by him from the AT&T newsroom, and I'll leave that, of course, in the description down below so you guys can check it out. The company continues to focus its effort on driving solid growth in 5G and fiber, driven by continued high demand for connectivity. While the company does not expect wireless industry growth levels to mirror those experienced in 2021 or the first half of 2022, again, we saw T-Mobile severely cut into that. DeRoches indicated that demand remains healthy. The company continues to see solid demand levels via its consistent go-to-market approach, despite opting not to be as promotional as peers during the recent holiday selling season. So from an overall perspective, they weren't as promotionally aggressive, right? They did bring back some promotions. Like I said, they moved the iPhone off offer from $800 back to $1,000, but they didn't necessarily go 4 lines, $100. They didn't do any of that, right? That Verizon and T-Mobile were far more aggressive. Verizon a little late in the quarter. They started picking up in terms of the promotional aggressiveness. T-Mobile was aggressive from the beginning, and it's going to show on AT&T's numbers. AT&T is not going to grow, and they said it right here that it's not going to mirror the same type of growth that we saw, because I feel they did pump the brakes a bit on promotional pressure, and that's fine. You know, if they did 500,000-600,000 ads, that's still good for the company. But I still feel that from a competitive view, there's still more growth for AT&T and Verizon to get that they don't seem to want to get. So it's all going to go to T-Mobile. If Verizon and AT&T don't compete, they will shrink share in those parts that T-Mobile is focused on. You know, and I said this in previous videos. If AT&T, and the same goes for Verizon, if they don't pivot and shift to compete aggressively in small market rural areas to somewhat at least match T-Mobile, they are going to lose share in those parts. It's a given. It's not going to take a mathematician to figure that out. It's already happening. So that's just something that I feel needs to be addressed by both companies, or they have to talk to the board and just be okay with, the outcome. And the outcome will be that they're going to lose share in those markets. That's the only outcome that I see. But it's still good to see that AT&T is acknowledging, like, hey, we did take off some of that promotional pressure, but we still liked what we saw. We still had a very, very balanced approach. We grew some on the wireless side, but we also grew fiber, which helped our revenue, helped the EBITDA. That's some of the language that I think we'll hear on the earnings call. And Pascal did say that they will update us with a more detailed view and guidance on the earnings call. So also some of the more interesting things that he did state they are well ahead of their target for the POPs on C-band and mid-band, which is, like I said, probably some of the craziest under-promise, over-deliver I've ever seen from any company, right? They almost doubled. Well, he actually did say that they doubled the C-band footprint. He didn't give any official numbers. He said he won't do that until the earnings call, but he said they pretty much doubled it. So they should come in at around 140, 150 million POPs covered with C-band, which I think from where they started from is very, very impressive. And that likely also means that they're ahead of the 200 million goal by the end of 2023. So they're moving at a very incredible pace. And I think the only thing that's allowing them to do that is because most of their basebands are already upgraded due to the FirstNet deployment. So all they have to do is go to the site and add C-band, right? In some cases, Verizon has to stay at the site a lot longer. And I've mentioned this before, because they have to swap LTE radios, modernize sites, rip baseband units, add new baseband units. So they got to do all that, right? AT&T, in a lot of instances, they can spend several hours at the site and they're in and out. So, but that's good to hear. That's good to hear that commentary. Pascal is confident that they're going to continue growing in 2023. At least from his outlook. We will see what the guidance says come earnings call. And I think he's right. I think they struck a great balance on the go-to market with the fiber and the wireless to have like a great mixture there. And if wireless didn't necessarily grow as much, they piggyback off of fiber, right? Okay, this quarter fiber stepped it up. So that's something they can take to the market, to the street, in terms of the analysts and the stock, and say, hey, look, we're doing it and it's coming together. Do I think they have some more work to do? Yes, I truly believe they do. I think they still need some more densification. I've voiced my opinion on that. I think they need a little bit better marketing, maybe even a better go-to-market, maybe, rebrand. I think they need all that to work on that as well. And they need to get device support for older devices to take advantage of C-band and DoD. I think they really need to get focused on that. I know they said they wouldn't do it or couldn't do it, but they need to do it, right? The 13s, the iPhone 12s, the S21, I think they really need to try their best to get that device support going for DoD and C-band, because it's going to help the overall experience and it's going to keep the churn as low as they possibly can. So let me know what you think about that in the comment section down below. Just wanted to leave you with those updates. Make sure you guys like, share, subscribe to the channel, follow my social media outlets. This is Tyrone with Tech Life. See y'all in the next one. Peace.